Now, there are many of you out there I'm seeing, because I went to bed after the launch, but when I woke up this morning, I'm seeing people, oh, it wasn't a fair launch. I'm seeing all the goddamn pussyfoots out there. Oh, it wasn't a fair launch. It launched 5 minutes early. Even Simon did a video. Hey, folks, it launched 5 minutes early. Oh, goddamn right I launched 5 minutes early, motherfucker. I had to shake out these motherfucking bots.
Yo, crypto. Yo, crypto.
What the hex is you guys talking about?
When Bob's.
I'm going up and to the right.
I hope you're having an amazing 4th. Okay, guys, listen. Hot dogs are fucking disgusting. They repulse me. I watched the video how they were made, but goddamn, it's so good.
With IT coin on the Pulsechain climb, harvesting memes from the digital vine. Our coin it soared, hit the top so dear. Laughs and dreams, we got plenty here. Farm on the meme side, always on the meme side. Farm on the meme side of life.
Because this is what the SEC does. The SEC, I think, is overmatched as a government agency. And you don't have to comment on that, but just nod your head. utterly overmatched. So they go after groups, and then they can't really prove it in court. So then they're like, how about this? You give us a cut of your profit, and we'll all be done here.
The biggest winner, of course, was Hex, and we want to know, well, what the heck?
What the heck? What the heck's happening?
What the hex?
What the heck?
What the heck's
Hello.
he doing?
What the wiener?
What the heck's?
Wiener.
Were you eating the logo?
I was.
Just lick it.
Waka,
Don't eat
waka,
it.
waka, waka, waka.
We shouldn't be serving those what the heck sugar cookies in the green room, DJ. She thinks that this logo is one of those.
It was a sugar cookie?
Mm-hmm. Yes, Peter, for everybody except for you.
Oh, man.
At the Hex cookie cutters.
I'm happy to see Hodpril here.
Do you like how I matched my lighting to my background? I mid-journeyed streaming background, and there it just streaming background. That's all the prompt was.
If you have to mention it, it wasn't effective.
That's
But I'll give you your flowers. You do excellent lighting to do with your background. Don't shrink away. Don't shrink away.
I puffed back up.
Did you paint that yourself? It looks like a Bob Ross kind of a happy little tree kind of thing.
Mid-journey painted it for me. Yes.
It's beautiful. Hodpril, welcome to the show.
Thank
DJ,
you.
welcome our chat so I can dig into our guest, so to speak.
What do you mean?
You want me to let loose right now? I'll let loose right now.
Hold on. We
Go
got
ahead.
Orion in the chat as a first today. Orion,
woo!
What how you doing with the oh hey? We got a Maddie Allen.
Hey, Maddie.
Look at
going on?
that. Crypto
Yes.
Bigfoot in the house, number 3. Honorable mention to True Blue from Down Under and Miss Avalon. They try to be first, but they didn't catch it right. You see, you have to be exactly 4 hours in before the show goes live. Otherwise, you drop out again. So they tried hard. But Orion comes to the win. Hex on Air is here. Brizology. Welcome to
Tell
the
your Bitcoin Brizology. God damn it.
Mr. P-Hex. We have a P-Hex pump day. 10% up today. How about that, you guys?
What?
You guys? Yes, sir. Jason Smith, Finbear is
I
here.
take full
Finbear,
responsibility.
we need some jokes. My man, what are you doing? Hey, Finbear.
No.
DJ Mag, no, that's me. Archie S.
Mhm.
A Wookiee.
Did you
on
actually
the
read
train.
your own name just
I
now?
read my own name.
You are old.
Talking about narcissism.
Yeah.
And Effortless Crypto is here. No, there he is. Evening.
Wait.
Evening.
You just
What
took
time
away
zone?
the nice long. Where's the nice long CUDA? There we go. Can we see this?
A walk between a pair of sneakers.
Most talented hexagon
Hexagon
to ever squat between a pair of sneakers.
What is this?
What does that mean?
Well, what is that about? Did you party with Finbear or something here?
No.
That's
Is
crazy.
there a Watching video of you out there performing the perfect poop.
No, that's Richard doing those dances, not me.
Yes.
Right on.
30 people watching live already, man. You're bringing the crowd, Hodpril. Thank you for
Oh
joining.
man,
Yes.
hello everybody.
This means a lot.
Now.
Wonderful.
Not so fast, DJ. I have a bone to pick right off the bat. Let's clear the air, so to speak.
Boner to pick.
So-called Hodpril. I want to tell you that I've been drinking your energy drinks.
Have you really?
And wait, not so fast. I've been drinking your energy drinks, and they did not do anything to help my posture. Nor did they give me, mind you, did they give me any stellar ripping pair of knockers. They did not. do either of those things.
Wasn't promised.
So I'm telling, no, I look at the ad, look at the thumbnail, everyone, on this here video. Perfect posture. Hodpril, welcome to the show. It's been so long since we've seen you. I've only heard your voice, and I know Hodpril. DJ, do you remember when Hodpril was only the Telegram chat, no face behind the voice, and everyone thought the voice was an AI? They're like, there's no way.
No way women do this crypto thing.
Yeah.
I got Bart Simpson, I got Siri, I got all of that stuff. Partially, I think some of it was because of the American accent too. And I noticed that later. I mean, it's not all the reason, but you know, the West Coast Siri accent. Hello, welcome.
No.
Or did I just sound
You
like
know, it's the impeccable intonation. Your sentence structure is perfect, and I'm out. Okay. There, I'm back again.
that? Oh yeah, you were out.
Your
Yeah.
sentence structure is perfect.
When I get nervous,
You're-
I get more of a robot voice too.
Yep.
But
Robo Papa.
Oh no! This was not nerves. You were very confident, and it was amazing. We all had our theories for months. We were like, "Is Hodpril? Is this like a FBI plant? Is this what's the deal?" She's like,
it's a girl on the
FBI plants
thumbnail.
in our community.
Speaking of which,
man.
Pulse Latina.
To
What
be
about
fair-
this Pulse Latina thing, Hodpril? What is your, from a woman's perspective, what is your take on that whole?
My
story?
take on it is that honestly, since I haven't done any research on chain about it,
Right.
so my initial take is innocent until proven guilty with both the model and people who are assuming were behind it, right? Because if we don't know, it's hard to throw the names around if you're not sure. And here's the thing about scammers is they can pose as other scammers who've been scammers before. It's a very easy tactic. Sure. I'm not sure what happened. I literally have no idea. Other people might know more about it.
Yeah.
Including the model or whatever. Yeah, she was holding the pictures of the, Pulsechain things, handing them out. We don't know what level she understood. Well, okay, here, I'm going to give you some money to go pass these flyers out. Okay, it's possible this person had every idea of what's going on, and it's possible she had no idea what was going on.
Yeah.
So
but she dawns from a. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That's where I'm at. I mean, it's obviously I'm coming from a place of ignorance of the situation, but that is something to consider. That we don't really, at this point, I don't know who's behind it, right?
Yeah. But I think people are taking it a bit too far from what I've seen on crypto Twitter, like really trying. It's like a witch hunt right now. People.
Well, it's possible the person knows.
It
is possible, but it's also possible they don't.
Yeah, let's not overlook the fact that she dons. Someone is trying to dox, the exact her and her, location, everything. They found that didn't she come from Brazil? So
that's what I heard.
Yeah, good luck enforcing anything in Brazil. So,
yeah, there's that. Yeah,
she's already in a safe place, and you can't go accost her, or else you'll get like a machine gun.
Brazil, safe place.
Yeah,
I mean, I feel bad for anybody who got rugged on that. I really do. And I think I was even one of the people who initially, when Pulse Latina came up, like, hey, cool, we have more women in Pulsechain. I didn't know that there is going to be a token involved.
Well, we kind of did too. We applauded that at first as well on the show, but then as things went on, she then promoted her website where people can farm, and then we more turned into warning people about that. Hey, you want to be careful with that shit. And sure enough, that's what again happens.
That's with anybody.
Yeah.
If someone, like, I wouldn't, but how would you know if I put out a token tomorrow? If someone else put out like a face token, be careful. Don't buy it. You know what I mean?
Wait a minute. I'm all in on Hodpril. What the hell?
No,
you tell me it's a scam?
I
Oh
hope
shit!
not.
You weren't
No,
the
but I
founder?
mean-
What? I better-
Well, that's the thing too, is who, when your name's out there, anyone could make anything, and the person isn't even necessarily in on it monetarily or otherwise. In this case, this person might not even know what Pulsechain is, as was said on whatever Telegram message of like, this is a paid, actor and whatnot, and we don't know if that's true either. We don't know, we don't know anything, but I feel bad for the people who got rugged, but also be careful with the hunt of who's behind it, because in all senses, if you don't know, it could be a catastrophic event for people who had no idea what was going on.
But there
should be an investigation into it. Don't get me wrong.
But hold on a second. Two things touched on here. Number one, I want to know. I couldn't help but notice that you're a lady. So, ladies in this community, that was a very interesting point. I'd like to see how have you seen that working to our advantage, or have you seen an ingress of more ladies coming into our community? A lot of them have fled. I mean, what have you seen? Because we are all testosterone-rich human beings.
Oh, yeah.
Other than yourself.
Especially this room. There's tons of tests in here.
I know it's a total sausage fest because DJ Cryptomatic comes from the land of the sausages.
The sausage realm.
So that's number one, and number two.
I don't appreciate the German bashing these days.
But why you BTC dumper you?
It's deserved, Cryptomatic. It's deserved.
Yes.
Every few generations, the German has to destroy
Germans
something.
fuck things
Yes.
up.
Don't worry,
and now it's the BTC dumping.
Fine. Yeah.
How dare you? Yeah. Anyway, and
All
then
your
what's the
fault.
other thing? Yeah. The other thing is the other thing is I couldn't help but notice. So first, I want to know about the ladies in this ecosystem, and number two, I'd like to know about. It seems like you've stayed the course, much like the three of us have. Through thick and thin, you've kind of retained that core Richard Hart type of ethos, and you've been promoting that. And you have your drink, and you have your advice, and helping out new people, and wealth of information. So how difficult has it been to stay the course for you? And do you see yourself continuing? And aren't you just saying, this is the greatest thing ever because I didn't fall for this new memery type of thing?
I think there's a lot to that question, as far as it starts all the way with your overhead. So a lot of people have made a lot of money on Hex, right? On the initial pump or Pulsechain or whatever, or they've traded well and they're doing well or farming well. And, they've changed their lifestyle. And what happens is when you suddenly survive on crypto, you need to make that money back. You are a professional crypto person, which is okay until the bear market, when you still want to be a crypto person, and then you start using other people as the exit liquidity to not get under. And the way out of that, because what's weird is some of these people that are, rugging others, right? And I'm not talking about Pulsechain. I'm just talking about in general crypto. They aren't necessarily the devil. It's just, I'm a professional crypto person. You get that in your head, and it starts, giving you ideas of, you think of it almost as a loan. Okay, I'll make my own token, then I'll put it back in somewhere, and I'll just take out enough to live, and then it'll pump because a token that doesn't have much utility, that's just a token that has your name on it, or a token that has a meme or something like that. And I think the problem is the overhead, and what I mean is how you live your life, right? If you've made money on crypto and suddenly you've bought a new truck and a new house, you've bought your mom a new house, and you've changed your lifestyle, and suddenly the bear market happens and you don't quite know how to get back to being able to pay for those things, a lot of people will resort to seeking out exit liquidity. And so fundamentally, the answer to that is, don't change your lifestyle that much. if it pumps. Have a mindset of saving your money, not spending it, because you'd be surprised how many good people could have that initial thought of, oh, it just seems innocent, and suddenly it could even technically not even be you being, if you make the token, it could be not you rugging the people, it could be someone else buying it up and pumping it and then, doing, liquidity games or rugging people. So the answer is be able to hold. If you can hold for long periods of time, you don't have to gamble. You don't have to do that stuff. It's a lot easier to stick to a core set of tokens because your expectations are not so much that you're willing to go against your moral compass to stay afloat. I think that's a big issue.
How did you do it? Sorry, go ahead, DJ.
Also the Richard Hart teachings, kind of like that, like the pre-outrage marketing Richard, where he said, I already have a very strong computer, I have a very good stereo system.
Yeah.
Why else? Why should I spend more money on another TV or something? And
that's why he's able to hold the Bitcoin.
Yes. and then that flipped on its head.
Which, by the way, go up in value.
Say hi to Johnny Chaos.
Hey,
Hello,
Johnny,
sir.
how's it going?
Johnny is here.
Yay! Yeah,
wow. Big fan of the show.
Yeah, I can see that.
Thanks for tuning in.
So yes, welcome, Johnny, your 53rd simp. Continue, everybody.
We love Johnny Chaos.
Yeah, we love Johnny Chaos.
I love Johnny Chaos.
Yeah, but it goes in line with the Richards. And I think Johnny Chaos, actually, he made a whole video about this where I think he bought a Kia or something, and he was like, "That's a very functional car, and it's comfortable. It's and it's
Peter."
You know what? I'm going to talk about Johnny
plays
Chaos.
music from my phone with the Bluetooth. I don't need a Lambo. I think that was kind of the gist of it, basically, and that's what you just said with the overhead. Yeah.
Sorry, I kept interrupting. Because I'm excited about what I'm going to say.
Go.
Please,
Johnny,
go ahead.
and I'm making an assumption on Johnny. So, your ikigai, right? Your reason for being. If you're a creative person and you work with your hands and you make things for people and they love it, I think you have less of an impetus to go and try to seek out that in crazy wealth, splendor, money wastes. I think that if your brain has found a way to be, I mean, trust me, everybody would like to have more money, if anything for having a functional vehicle, being on that Maslow's hierarchy of needs high enough to do what you need to do. But if you're a creative person and you have that thing you're doing in Johnny Chaos, if people know about, he does all of these creatures. He makes things for, movies, sets. He's a brilliant artist.
Yes.
I think you're less likely to just not know what to do with your life and just start spending everything you have because you're trying to fill that hole in your life. Is my guess. I don't know. So buying a Kia is excellent.
So in comes the life experience too, and managing your money, being good at that before crypto.
And with Richard, he was able to not throw all of that initial Bitcoin money away because he could hold and be cool with the computer and not have to go spend a lot of money. I mean, he has the outrage marketing, but you look behind that, he didn't actually spend all that much money. And the money he did spend was like watches and stuff. Those are investments. Those don't lose money over time. So
well, not so fast. Not so fast.
Yeah.
He did call the top. And by the way, my mind goes back to one quote statement, filling of holes. Hodpril, can you tell us, back in the day on Telegram, you used to say, and this I'll never forget, in your old Hodpril voice, you said, I'm just here, the aspirations that I have are to have enough money to be able to walk down the street and have a cup of coffee at my favorite coffee house whenever I want, and I think I'm close to that now. Tell us, what are your next goals in the bull market? Do you see yourself as having more adjusted goals, or was that just a fantasy, or are you really a down-home chick that likes coffee?
It's easy to say you're a down-home chick that likes coffee when everything's not up in the air and blown up and terrible, right? When you have your when you have your housing situation figured out and you're not in massive debt, it's a lot easier for someone like me to say that, right? So I'll throw a bone to the people who are trying to get to bottom line, survival. But overall, beyond that, you get a good computer, you get some art supplies, some good coffee, maybe some energy drinks. Like
Shill it. Go ahead, shill it.
Oh yeah, so I have the energy drink design on my Twitter, but it's DIY beverages, and I just have the label. You can figure out what.
Are you conflicted? Are you conflicted because you were once a coffee drinker and now you're also a energy drink consumer? And
you know what? I'm trying to get more into the coffee and less into the energy drinks because of the massive amount of sugar and other stuff in it. Because I'm a big caffeine head. Like I love the energy stuff. So.
Oh yeah, cool, awesome. One of us.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Peter mainlines caffeine directly into his arteries.
No.
How do you, Hodpril? How do you?
Pills, I crush them and sniff.
Sniff the pills, yes.
How do you manage with the current sentiment, though? Like, how do you deal with that? Because if you open Crypto X right now, and especially in our circles with the HEX and Pulschain, it's all 99. It will never like people are really saying it will never recover right now. Like this is probably the worst I've seen in all this time, but we're still positive. I guess you are still positive. How do you manage that?
When you've
give some
seen
advice to
whether or not you're invested, and you've been invested for a long time. I mean, you could technically have been watching crypto for a long time and not have gotten into it, so you don't technically need to be a part of this. But when you've seen how the market goes and how low it goes, that volatility goes the other way. It's not just up. And you kind of have seen that it just always goes back up. Why would, it's almost, here's what I've noticed. A lot of people with a lot of crypto, or have been in the game and understand, there is a point where they do get depressed when it goes down. But there's a subset of people that get excited and start buying in. They're like, ooh, when's the bottom? Oh, when's the bottom indicator? And they have set aside, like when they think there's the top, they take a percentage out. Not everything. Right. They're not going nuts with it, just from what I've seen, right? And then they wait until the bottom happens, and then they buy the bottom. It's just a strategic move. It's not an emotional all or nothing. You could technically make more money if it's all or nothing, but obviously you're taking a bigger risk. And if you're used to taking big risks in crypto, you have a high likelihood of eventually being rugged. I mean, holding is it's morally kind of a better way to deal with stuff because you have patience. And obviously anyone who held Bitcoin for a long time holding has made out like a bandit, right? Anyone who's getting paid out in Mt. Gox, assuming the price of Bitcoin isn't going to tank, is better off than if they still had it and were trading it, right? Because that held it, right? So that's the power of holding. It's not just the number one, you can be lazier if you hold, because you really can. You could just buy something and hold. But it's like when you see the people who've made it enough to have a savings in crypto, it's usually they have a lower overhead or not ridiculous overhead, and they don't gamble every single thing they find. And they don't get pissed. They don't get pissed if they miss an opportunity because it's always there. Like the time frame, and I could see why Richard picked the 15 years, and some of these other, protocols are picking really long staking times. That's where you're looking at when you hold. So when these prices go way down, it's like, well, it hasn't been 15 years yet. It's still volatile. So that's what I'm saying is it's a DCA. If you believe in it, it's a DCA opportunity. And if not, you're just giving more of the crypto to the pool of people who are willing to hold it longer. That's all it is.
You know what? Hold on a second, DJ. I got to interject for a second. It's a 30-minute mark, and I've got to reveal something. Ladies and gentlemen, every time Hodpril does that cute little brush of her nose to kind of itch
My
her
nose,
nostrils.
yeah, I have allergies.
No, we got to reveal that's the shorthand that says basically "Papa, I love you." So if you watch the video back, you'll see how many times. And enough, Hodpril. I understand you love me already. Please stop. Yeah, you don't have to do the shorthand anymore. It's okay. No, there you go. There's a big one. All right.
Well,
I
now
feel
that
in
we've established language.
Yes. Continue, DJ, by all means, please.
All right.
It's the Germans, by the way.
Oh,
Your host,
not,
DJ. Oh. Your mic is terrible.
It
DJ.
works now.
Yes.
Hello?
DJ, we agree. Yes.
You're coming in all German. Sounds German now.
Achtung.
Yeah,
no, I was okay. You explained about the DCA, and of course Hex is kind of a good way to DCA if you are staked, because you actually don't have to all the time add additional fiat because the T shares are paying you out on the daily. But I think my question was more towards kind of how do you keep your positivity, like from a mental that for me it's like the belief in the Richard Hart and Richard Hart's preachings of the early years. That's what keeps me going, and I'm curious if that's the same for you, or because despite all this FUD, the fundamentals have not changed. Richard still has not sold a coin. He still is the there is still the OA with all the supply. There's still the T-shirts that work flawlessly on 2 chains. Matter of fact, 4 chains if we take the proof of work for. So nothing has really changed or stopped working. Like there is no need really for all this fear besides the price performance. So how do you still keep your mental positivity?
If I may interact,
if
DJ, there is fun in fundamentals. Okay, that's all you need to know.
That was the worst thing I ever heard. It was.
I'm sorry, my nose super itches now, especially since Papa brought it up.
I'm telling you,
it's so much love for you.
I feel it. It's emanating.
Hex.
Oh, what the hex? Okay, so how do I keep my
what the
positivity?
hex really is the question.
Well, because I've been in bears before, and for me, the way I see it structurally in the future, right? Like, let's say that Ethereum ends up pumping hard, right? And then the gas fees are astronomical because there's a lot of it,
Right now they're really cheap.
Yeah, right now they're cheap, so it's actually kind of a, if you have any HEX stakes, you might actually unstake them. But in the future, if it goes huge, what's going to happen? The same thing that happened when the NFTs, really, I kind of blame the NFTs. It's not just that, but when things happen on the Ethereum chain that blocked everything and made these gas fees so astronomical, the best hard fork is Pulsechain of Ethereum, and you also have all of your tokens on the Pulsechain. So structurally, without Richard Hart doing anything, it's made to outdo Ethereum when that happens, right? Because Ethereum, people will go in and they'll buy it, and you can even buy Ethereum on Venmo and whatnot. But it's a chain that can be developed on, right? So when people get into more of these apps, and browsers and everything, and they actually do more functional things with it, try to make games with it, and everything, it's going to be apparent that, the throughput needs to be higher, right? So one cool thing is Pulsechain might actually take some of the traffic away from it, improving the throughput for Ethereum. I mean, it might be a stretch, but it's possible that could happen. As far as Hex is concerned, look how well it did before this SEC thing happened, right? Even on Twitter X, when we saw that, the timing wasn't, they might have not submitted a response. You could see that Pulse was pumping because people were excited that things could finally move. And suddenly it comes out, oh, it's in my hand, and then drop, So it's not that, I think it's a better move to not still have any sort of faith whatsoever on chains that don't have any sort of movement or any sort of interest, right? And that's not the case with what we're dealing with. We're obviously in a bear and also in that litigation, right? So there are reasons why things on PulseX haven't moved forward. You know what I mean? So it's kind of bullish though if you're willing to wait, if you have patience.
Well, that's one of the tenets of this ecosystem, isn't it?
I'd like to think so.
Yes. We are waiting.
What do you make of this case? And do you also feel like we are here on this show that this will easy take another year before we see any kind of resolvence or any kind of light at the end of the tunnel? Because this is back and forth now.
It's kind of in their best interest, depending what they're doing. Oh, I don't want to put my words in their mouth. I don't know what they're doing with bringing up so much crypto and tanking the price.
Yep.
And then losing and not seeming like it makes that much of a difference when they lose. You see what I'm getting at?
I know, and it's the same that happened today. There is this breaking news that the SEC just dropped their 2-year or 3-year long investigation into Paxos, which was a stablecoin project, crypto. And Ranuna says, great, now they literally destroyed that thing, which was once a $20 billion worth,
right,
project or product, and it was really serving. This was one of the projects that was trying to get this financial inclusion happening, and especially third world countries who were not able to get bank accounts, be part of the stock market, etc. And that was one of the ethoses that Paxos went about trying to, get these people included in crypto. So it's also from a, from a philosophical standpoint, it was a very important one and got totally smashed by the SEC. And now 2-3 years later, after it's down in the dumps, then they just walk away from it.
Well, wasn't Paxos, didn't they have a variant that was backed by gold as well, like Paxos Gold?
Yes.
How couldn't that just be audited in like 10 seconds? I don't understand.
Offspring, yeah. Now they declare it not a security, but now Paxos is literally dead.
So there's also something that happened, I believe it was on June 28th, that I don't know if you've heard of the Supreme Court and the Chevron the Chevron case. Where,
I've heard about it, but
yeah.
I don't know any of the details.
So overall, I mean, you can quite get into it, but it was kind of that a rule, more or less, that the judges should defer to federal agencies when they don't really know, the answer to something. It was, let me see. Try to think of a better way to, says federal judges must exercise their independent judgment in deciding whether an agency has acted within its statutory authority, right? So in other words, it gives a little less power to some of these agencies and a little more power to individual judges and probably the states as well. And the history of it's interesting. There are a number of different things, but there was a puddle on a farmer's land and then it was declared wetlands by some agency, and it was totally bogus. And so this was actually thrown out very recently. So I don't know if that's going to have any effect on any of these SEC cases, and let alone any of these other agencies just going after things. The insidious part of, and I'm not saying this is what's happening necessarily, but one could argue that someone could take the price of something and bring it back up and not be liable for doing so, right? Because it's actually, some people consider cryptocurrency.
I'm sure that's money, totally happening.
Right? So it just makes it complicated because, again, we don't know if that's actually what they're doing either, but it's a very complicated thing. We'll find out more in October. Right?
Yes.
With this case.
There is also nothing new on the court docket. I checked before the show, but there is still no update. So I don't know if we even we'll see that rebuttal from the SEC if that will be published before October. And I think Richard's team of lawyers now has until August to respond to that. I think that will be the next
Yeah,
step.
didn't he actually have a tweet saying when they were going to?
I think he.
By the way, let's not overlook that. Sorry, go ahead, Peter, please.
August 22nd.
August 22nd, he says.
That's the 22nd. All right, I thought that sounds right.
Unless the SEC does not include a cover letter, which summarizes in plain English for the judge to be able to file it correctly. That's one of the court rules, and we should have read them before we started this whole.
Yes. Oh, it would be so cool if the thing would be dismissed on technicals. I would just love
it. It won't. It will never. Don't worry.
It won't because it's the SEC, but I would just love that. Today he was tweeting this because another platform got hacked, and he went on a Siller network. It's the recent one that just got hacked, and Squarespace hosting, which is quite popular. And then of course he went explaining again that because he moved everything off the usual servers, that you have to run the apps and code yourself. How did you feel about this at the time when PulseX was just displaying the message for the interplanetary file system links? When this went on, were you in the camp? Oh, that's even more complicated for onboarding, or did you say, hey, that's great?
Are you asking me?
Yes.
Both.
We can also ask Peter.
Yes, we can.
And not me. I have an opinion, DJ. Come on.
Well, okay, I'll answer first.
No, Hodpril.
Please, Hodpril.
IPFS links. All of these things, running anything locally. When you are in DeFi, it's really good to be sort of, you have to do your own research, but when you're decentralized, do as much research as you can on what that means. Decentralized file systems, right? Decentralized running things locally, not, obviously not having a centralized exchange. IPFS links is just one example of okay, we're using, it's not just one, dedicated server. There's different links and
right.
And yeah, it's really hard to onboard with that. Right, because people are scared of these links, and we saw it the day it happened. And but it's also hard to get a MetaMask and go in there and go on the site and learn how to stake and learn how to unstake and have the bravery. I mean, the bravery to do that when you're connecting to the site that you've never seen before, and it could go down. Some people have to use the ICASA front end because they're in the interim of the whole hex.com. And you have to roll with the punches when you're doing DeFi, because there's no middle manager catering to you, trying to get their cut of your money, right? And so what that means is it's up to you. You need to learn how to do this. Or if you're onboarding somebody, they need to learn how to do it. And really, that's your reward for being in early is, if you can hold and you can figure out these IPFS links and not freak out or run locally, okay. I mean, people had to mine Bitcoin. You know how hard that is? That's not straightforward, right?
Nope.
So those people had to go out of their comfort zone, and they're decentralized technically when they're mining, right? Especially at first, before even Mt. Gox,
I mean, more decentralizing and less liability is one aspect, but the other aspect, and I think that was he was getting at today, was that these websites cannot be replaced by phishing websites that take people's things. So it's, in that sense,
what sucks about DeFi, and I know Papa knows this more than anybody, is the security aspect of it. And there's almost no way around it. And I remember there was a talk about, okay, should people get hardware wallets first? Should they, should they even click these IPFS links? Should they do this, that, the other things? And yeah, so that comes at, not to have a big conversation about it, but that comes at the expense of onboarding ease, right? Yes. And that's the game you play with DeFi, is it's up to the person. Because a question, when people have, oh, can I get into this? Usually when it's pumping, people ask me these questions, right? And it's like, there's no right answer. Depends on what you're comfortable with. And they're not used to saying that, right?
Hodpril, yakety yak, yakety yak, that bad stuff, technical stuff. People don't want to hear that. We want, in the last 15 minutes of this narrow broadcast, since Toby has not shown up to give us his TA, dark nastiness.
No, he's waiting. I'm just.
Is he waiting?
He's waiting.
Exactly 15 minutes. All right, before Toby. Before Toby comes on, we're going to subtract 10 minutes of Toby's
time, by the way.
We are going to subtract even 5 more minutes of Toby's time, unless he wants to be in here and talk fucking positive for the last 5 minutes of this broadcast. That's the commitment. And now, with any further ado, we open the gates and let them. No, we don't.
No, we do a transition first, because you see this little bird. On
Yes.
this show, we always play the sound.
Yes. Thank you.
That's R2D2. And I think I found out where this sound is coming from. Listen to this.
Oh,
A
here we go.
starling.
You're such an audiophile.
Yeah.
DJ
Oh, I am.
Cryptomania. That's what it is.
But this is crazy.
You need to bring him to your shows.
These are not the birds you're looking for.
The angry bird. Listen.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's remarkable.
That's him. That's him. Oh God, Toby's here.
There's another one I'll have to
catch
find
the
and send you,
sample?
DJ. Of I can't remember the name of the bird, but it's in like a nature documentary, and they're filming it, making all these crazy sounds, and then it does this whole run of like mating call sounds, and then you hear that it actually implements the sound of the shutter of the camera of the guy that's taking photos, and it's
Nice.
like, wait, what? It's like,
And
no
without any
way.
further ado,
Yeah. Ta-da.
have 10 minutes, Toby. Let's go.
Welcome,
I missed
Toby.
that warm Papa welcome.
Yes, that was.
Go,
last
move
week.
it. On with
was
it.
a bit of a miss. How you
Mush.
doing?
Hodpril, good to see you.
Good to see you.
Let's see. All right, let's share this guy.
Here we go.
We'll start off.
Wow,
Yeah.
we're pumping today.
Dun,
Woo!
dun, dun. Okay, now here, wait, hold up. Okay, we're starting with what? HEX, the original OG Hex.
No,
Peter's favorite.
Born son. You know, the one that the true, the one and only, the original gangster of DeFi and staking Hex. So anyhow, here's something that I find fun. I've poked fun at myself before about how TA is kind of like the astrology for men, and if you really want to take it next level, fractals are like tarot card reading on top of astrology. So not to disparage anyone that's into those things, I've no comment. Okay, so anyhow, I've got this fractal in yellow that we've been watching for a long while. I'm gonna like brighten it up so you can see it more clearly, but like right before I popped on, because as you might know, I'm the laziest man in all of TA. I literally don't look at these charts.
Come on
until
now.
about 5 minutes.
Chop.
Until about 5 minutes until I come on here with you guys. And then, you know, hey, we see if it played out or not, right? And then maybe I'll extend the lines after the segment, and then it's ready for next week. So anywho, if you brighten this up a little bit, you can see in the yellow fractal how it had like a little pump and then down and then up again and then rounds over, and then we bottom out sometime in the end of August to mid-September, and then we get a run up, oddly enough, the week of the hearing, October 17th. So now, obviously, this is just total bonkers, because it's like all I did was say, hey, wonder what the chart was like June of 2020 for those 18 months running up to September of 21 when we had the all-time high. And I literally just took that bars pattern and moved it to June 20 of this year and laid it in. And then I'm like, oh wow, look at all the confluences. So it'll be interesting to see if it continues to play out. But like as I dull this back down, you can see that we have a great big wick today on the green candle that went up almost to the 55 EMA. And almost to the tick on this fractal, which is like, I don't hold a lot of weight in fractals, but it's to me, it's entertaining. I like it. I like
Toby, 7 minutes, 4 more coins. Let's go. Come on.
That's cool.
Fractal,
Hey,
Hodpril has to get out of here at the top of the hour. Exactly. Let's go.
Yeah, but here's the deal. If you continue to interrupt, then it will just take away precious moments from this
DJ.
Let's not interrupt Toby, okay?
Thank you.
Let's go.
Peter.
Let's go.
I got 11 minutes, bro.
Let's
this
not
is a walk in the
interrupt
park. I'm already pretty much done with this one. As we've shown, we had this this descending orange channel for quite a while, and the bigger white channel that we go back to, we harken back to, that goes all the way back to. Let's just do the 3-day, and then I'll really bring it home for you. Like, here's the big giant white channel that we've been in since all-time high, right? And then we've worked our way down along that, and then we actually wicked below it really hard. And now mind you, this is on Ethereum. This is like V3 Uniswap, I think, is where it's pulling this information from. And basically, what's happening is we got a big wick below, but we closed within the white channel. And not only did we close within the broader white channel, we closed within the descending orange channel that we've been working in for a while. We topped out about a week ago. I remember telling you guys, hey, watch out for tweezer tops and tweezer bottoms, where we have like similar length wicks onto adjacent candles. Here, we not only had it on a daily, but we also had it on a 3-day. So that, you know, anytime you're in a longer time frame and you see any indicators like that, it has even more weight.
Crazy wick, though.
Lo and behold, we got above the 21 EMA, tried to get above the 25 or the 55 EMA, had a tweezer top pretty much right the day we were talking about it. We had like the first little wick of a tweezer top and said, well, look out for tweezer tops. And then the very next day, boom, it hit on Friday. That was the tweezer top, and we rolled over, and then we wicked way below, closed within, came back above, and then we wicked up, and now we're trying to get above that 55 EMA again. We'll see if we can stay above it. The key all along this way, it's like, I know that I'm going long on this one, but this is going to pay dividends, and the other ones, Papa, so relax your sphincter. So the 21 EMA, as you can see, just throughout the history of EHEX alone, it has been a battle since the top to get and stay above the 21 EMA. So it's like, you know, we're up above it a little bit. We're fighting it, peak above, fighting it, peak above, fighting it, peak above, fighting it, up above for a little while, up into March of 23. And then boom, we've been trying to get above it the whole while. Another little peak above. So the big key of turning things around, as you can see during the bull run, we actually got above it and then stayed above it, started using it as support on the run up. So that's pretty, you know, that's not rocket science, but, you know, if you think of what a 21 EMA is, it's the exponential moving average of the prices over the last 21 days. So, you know, if you're moving up, theoretically, you'd be above that line. So yeah, as we
3 minutes,
up,
Toby.
you can
Let's
find
go.
support there, then there we go. There we go.
Next
I'm gonna spend another, just to show Papa how good I am, I'm gonna spend 3 more minutes on this chart. I'm gonna knock out the last 4.
DJ, mute his ass. Let's
Okay,
go.
moving along to Pulsechain, because Papa doesn't like EHEX apparently. Sorry,
EHEX.
everyone.
We're
Sorry,
pumping
John Chaos
today,
and the
boys.
rest of the EHEX
And
guys. out there.
I like hearing from our guest last. Come on, let's go.
What? Oh, you know, believe me, Papa, I don't chew up other people's time. Okay, no pun.
I can't believe I just heard that. Continue, please.
Okay, so moving along. Hodpril, can you believe that I do this to myself week in and week out?
Got 120 seconds.
About me as a person, but
we love you for it, Toby. Continue.
We got 8 minutes on the UTC clock.
No, you don't.
Trading view.
You
It's
got,
right there on the bottom.
no, there's 5 minutes allotted for positivity at the end of this broadcast. Period.
Relax, dude.
And I want to hear from Hodpril mostly, not your flippity floppity.
By the way,
All right, so now we're over on the pulse. Same situation that we talked about over the last several weeks. The trend is your friend. Unfortunately, the trend is down. So we've been working our way down this orange parallel channel. I saw that we weren't going to work our way back to the top of it. Like, okay, we hit the top, bottom. Looked like it was kind of petering out here. Same situation. We had some tweezer top situation going on. So I saw it rolling over. I'm like, do we have another channel forming that's maybe more steep, which is typically to the downside, not what you want. And lo and behold, that white channel has seemingly played out.
This is true.
We wicked below it. Yep. So we wicked below the orange channel. If we play that out entirely, or if we even break out of the white channel that's within the orange channel, both of those measured moves, if you recall, the measured move is the height of the channel. That would take us down to effectively the all-time daily low, which is around 4030 3. So looks like, that's in play, sadly. Hopefully we can make a turnaround because if we go beyond that, God knows how low it could go. So sorry for the lack of hopium on that one. PulseX, hey, here we go. So going on over to PulseX, that one's a little less gross of a chart. We're still maintaining that white parallel channel we see in this one. That's less of a slope. And we're kind of doing the opposite of what we just saw on the pulse chart. Instead of it kind of like not having enough oomph to get to the top of the chart again, this one doesn't have enough UGG to get below the midline really and stay there. So we're kind of like petering out here. What would be nice is if we kind of roll back to the top and tried to break out. Again, get above the 21 EMA, the 55 EMA, find support there and make our way back up. If we did that and we can make a full measured move on this pattern, then we could get back up to 4028, which I think we'd be pretty happy with. Moving on to the new hex, the new kid on the block. As we showed before, this little zigzaggy pattern that we drew in a few weeks ago, where you're trying to get back into a pattern and reject. You try to get out of a pattern, come back, find support, and go. We played that out pretty much perfectly. The length of the channel is pretty much where we are now as far as the downside move, and then we've had a considerable move back up. So TA works. Ta-da! If you had your orders set around this low of 0044, you may have gotten filled. You may have gotten filled, and then we've gotten a really nice move up today. Big green candle, working our way back up toward that 21 EMA. And then we're going to have to see if this pattern works out again. Like, are we going to try to get back in here and reject again? Or are we going to finally break back into the pattern and then work our way up to the top side of it? That would be the goal.
PLS Hex, so that I...
Lastly is ink. Everybody loves ink. As I was saying way back here a few weeks ago, the $2.35 was an area I was looking for us to like a must-hold level, or we were really going to fall hard. And we have, unfortunately. And I said that I'd be looking for support around the $2 level. We wicked considerably below that. Looks like we wicked all the way down to $1.70. And then we're working our way back above that now. So we're just at about 203, moving up with the nice big green candles across the board today. And so we'll see if we can get back and stay in this white channel and slowly work our way back to the top. Midline is going to be around 225, and that's also going to be pretty close to the 21 EMA. We can get above that up to the 260, which is going to be the 55 EMA, and finally move above that to the top side of the channel. If we can do that over the next week, let's say next 2 weeks, because I don't know if I'm going to be here next week, but I'll let you guys know. 2 weeks now, if we continue to make that move up, $3 is not out of the realm of possibility, which is a pretty nice move. Now it's up to you guys. Do you want to look at Bitcoin, or just want to pass?
No, I want to hear from Hodpril. I want to hear some positivity. Let's bring it around to a great message.
Unfortunately, I have to dip out like in 4 minutes, but it's just because I have something I got to do with that. But
yeah, but we'll go ahead, Hodpril. The stage is yours, please.
Yeah. Thank you for the analysis. It's really cool. I'm glad that PulseX actually looks kind of cool too. Like it looks all right. I know it's bonded together so tightly that it's just small, wins against one another, and it's really all depends on Pulse and Pulsechain. But it is interesting to see the specific tokens, and let's say if something were to happen with the case, or people wanted to FOMO in that weren't in the Pulsechain, right? I always wonder, and ultimately it's just like tertiary and short-term things, but would people go into EHEX or Pulse? Would they choose to go on EHEX and hurry up and do something on the Ethereum chain, or would they jump to the bridge? And I always wonder about that, because we're in our ecosystem. Most of the people that deal with stuff are kind of hexicans. We do onboard people and everything, but what if the entire bam, news hits, the entire crypto space understand what's going on? How are they going to get into the ecosystem? Are they going to just think Hex and they find Hex and that's it? Or are they going to do the whole Pulse chain? Right. And are they going to put the time into learning about Pulse chain if they didn't know about it before, right? Because we assume so many people know about Richard Hart and Pulse chain, but they know a surface level. They don't necessarily know how to bridge in. They don't necessarily know how to get in. And I know we're trying to do some listings on some centralized exchanges that could make things easier, but as it is, yeah, I don't know. I don't know the question of that, but it's interesting to see like PulseX and Ink are they're really linked, because that's the whole farming token and everything. But everything's super linked to Pulse, right? So it's fascinating to see the micro because people don't often look at the different charts. They just look at Pulse, they look at Hex, right? So I think it's great that you're doing that.
Thanks.
Yeah, it's really
Well, thank
nice.
you for being on the show. I know you are out of time. You really have to go. Where can people find you if they want to follow you?
I haven't been on Telegram as much lately, but I'm Hodpril on Telegram, and I'm Hodpril on Twitter X.
Yes.
And so you can find me at those places.
Can you give us a sample of the old Hodpril voice, just like you
Hello,
reach
this
into your
is
microphone?
I am
One
on
more
the Telegram. I am on the Telegram room, and this is Hodpril, and people think I'm a robot.
Zero get nothing on that. So thank you very much for coming on.
Thank you
the
so
show
much
today.
for having me. Sorry I have to dip out a little early.
Come back again,
It's not always
please.
going to be the case.
That's
It's
all
just
good.
today I
and
got to do it.
Please
Come
keep
back again.
flying the Pulsechain flag, and good luck with
Oh,
everything.
I am. I'm bullish, everybody. You
that
should
you're
be
doing.
bullish
Yeah,
too.
exactly.
Yeah.
So guys, here's what we're going to do now. We're going to make a raid. We're going on a YouTube raid to the Cabana Crypto Show, who is starting today right after us with the Cabana good old-fashioned happy hour. I'm putting the link in the chat right now, so please move on over to Cabana Crypto and tell him in the chat that we sent you. We would appreciate that very much, and we'll see you guys.
Thank you so much for having me. Hopefully next time
On
I
the
can
next
stay the whole time. So
Yeah, this is the whole time. No, you did a fine job.
whatever. Yeah.
But come back again, because we
come
love
back.
The episodic things.
I'd
So
love
come on
to
back.
talk with you guys more. Absolutely. Have a great
Wonderful.
day. Have a good weekend.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
Outro.
You like drum and bass? I love drum and bass. It's my favorite music.
What's that?